Parents, if you grew up in a similar era as me, you can think back to your childhood and there was two basic rules, right? If you were a 90s kid, it was number one, don't call kids names. Don't be a bully. Don't be mean to people. Number two, don't do drugs, right? The DARE campaign, that's an important thing. What's frustrating for us as a pediatric chiropractor is that these two simple rules for childhood, I really think we're missing the mark on. And that's what I want to talk about in this video is how we're using labels, what maybe the positive side of it is, but maybe even more so what the negative side of that story is as well. Because this is something that if we think about kids these days, there is a long list of names we want to call them, right? There's ADHD, pandas, OCD, anxiety. There are so many labels and diagnoses that get thrown around. And unfortunately, it means that they get paired up with any number of probably a longer list of medications and drugs and treatments to go along with those things. And that's not to say that there is never a time that those should be used, but we need to think about this differently. We need to be aware of what some of the benefits are and then what some of the concerns are. So let's talk about that. Let's start with the good. What can a diagnosis do to help and to really serve as an asset? Well, a big one, and hopefully what comes to mind for you first as a parent if you are in this world, is access to services, right? For a lot of things, maybe you do need the official anxiety or autism or ADHD diagnosis and label to get access to different helps that you need and that your kid could absolutely benefit from. So that is a huge reason that you might want to pursue that and you might want to seek that out. A lot of times that also is going to go hand in hand with different coverages, right? Insurance might only cover it based on certain, access and certain labels that you get. And then there's a different legitimacy or validation that you get when you have the official label or diagnosis. It can lead to a different path or a different trajectory that kid might not otherwise have. So yes, absolutely an important, I would say, role or place that can serve. But that right? That is not anything new. So what I want to speak to for a minute is what are some of the concerns? What are some of the maybe reasons we might want to hold back on labeling kids and what can it lead to in a negative sense? One, and this is probably the biggest one that gets to me, is that it can shift a kid's identity, right? They can think of, the simplest example is, right, not a child with autism, but this kid is autistic, right? There's just a flip in understanding and how they might think about that. The last thing we want kids to feel is like they are broken, like there's something wrong with them, like they're damaged. That is the opposite of the message we're trying to get across. And that's what I tell every kid that's in the office here is that chiropractic, nervous system focused chiropractic is about unleashing your superpowers. It's about helping you reach your full potential. You're not here because something is wrong with you or something is broken. So that is a huge one that I think we need to be concerned with, that sometimes these labels, they kind of serve as limiters, right? And that leads to the second point that I'm getting at here. There's almost this victim mentality in the sense of, instead of it being a path to how they can be at their best, it ends up being a limiter, right? It ends up being something that is viewed as a ceiling of where they can be instead of just a different way that they can get to them being at their best. So it can shift the identity. It can absolutely lead to a little bit of a victim mentality. And it can unfortunately lead to number two, right? Can lead to a big medication dependency. They get that hardwiring or that identity shift. Sometimes this is you, mom and dad, that is dealing with that. And you start to think that they could never thrive, they could never be at their best without the medication. I'm never going to tell you whether or not you should or you shouldn't use that as a support for your family. What I do want to address and what we do want to talk about is how it's never fixing the cause, right? The cause of these challenges is never a lack of medications in the body. There's something else that's going on. And yes, absolutely, sometimes those supports can help manage the symptoms, can help them get through the school day better, and it can help fill the gap of a lot of those struggles. But what we need to do is realize that it is not fixing why, right? When we turn to those medications, it is addressing that from a different framework, not getting to the cause. And the other thing is the last concern we might have of somebody going down this labeling path is that it really narrows the focus, right? Instead of the focus of care, focus of helping this individual, just helping them as an individual, it's, oh, well, what's the autism treatment? What's the PANS treatment? What's the fill in the blank of whatever label your favorite one is? It's focusing on treating that disorder rather than unlocking that child's full potential, unlocking their ability to heal and to be well. And that is our firm belief that we are made to thrive and that we just need to unlock that internal healing potential for them to reach their full potential and maximize that. So yes, we're struggling on these things, but it is not all for lost. There are some benefits and we can get headed in a different direction. Parents, if that is something that you're looking for your child, we are here for you, right? That's what our scans are for, is digging into behind the scenes, digging into the why, trying to uproot those actual causes of their struggles and having a game plan then to get them back on track. So that is what we're here for, unlocking neurology, helping nervous system thrive, And please reach out to the team if you have more questions on that. Come join us at our upcoming workshops. Scroll the website or the Instagram social media feeds here. You will find so much more information on how you can help your child be at your best. Hope this helped. We'll see you soon.